Live but recorded from the BBR studios, we are Line Locked, where we talk about racing and a little bit more. I am your co-host, Chris, and this is...
Corey. How are you doing? I'm here.
Are you here, really?
I'm here, yeah.
Are you really here,
for the fourth time I'm here. Are you guys here? Everybody's here, right?
Yeah.
All two of you? You listening?
Both of you are glad you both could join us today. First of all, I want to talk about, for both of our loyal listeners and followers, we have this awesome little Christmas ornament type deal that we want to give away to every one of you that gives us an email in our box at linelockedpodcast.com and Facebook and comment and all that good stuff. Yeah.
But we have to have an address, so you got to be comfortable with sending us your address through the email would be best, so we can keep track of everything. Yeah. We've already got a list of quite a few people getting them, and we want to put your name on there too.
Yeah. So that brings us up to about 3 now. So three that we've given away.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, we had an exciting weekend.
It was so much fun last night.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling it today, boys. I am feeling it today. I'm not even sure if I'm going to make it all the way through this.
Hey, well, we got 29 minutes left to go, so let's try.
It's going to be rough.
Hey, listen though, we always talk about here in the shop. We talk about safety third, and I damaged my toe the last time I was here.
What happened, Chris?
Basically, we got the transmission out of my car. We had it up on the transmission jack, and you were sitting at the computer, and you're like, "We need to put that on the ground before
it falls on the ground."
Before it falls on the ground. So I was sitting there. I was like, "I would really like to go home." So I went back there and picked that thing up all by myself. I thought, "Oh my gosh, that was what was going through my mind." It's like, I'm physically picking up a transmission by myself.
Did you channel your inner Buddy Hall?
I did. And next thing I heard a thump.
Yeah, I heard it too.
You heard the thump? And then I thought for a second as I'm putting it on the ground that the torque converter fell out.
It's no longer torque converting.
It's
toe converting now.
It's toe converting. Exactly. So it landed smack dab on my big toe. And I kind of limped around a little bit, and I said some cuss words, I think, and then I refused to look at it.
Yeah, if you don't see it, it's not there.
So I drove all the way back home, and I'm in pain. I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm waiting for my girlfriend to get home, who's a paramedic, by the way. And disclaimer, I am in the medical field too, and I refused to look at it. So my shoe stayed on the whole time until she got home. I pulled it off, and my toe on the sock was saturated with blood. And she kept on calling me a pussy and all that. Why did you just look at it? Typical paramedic.
Yeah.
And so we pulled it off, and there was some fatty tissue.
Oh, it was awful. You sent me a picture. I was like,
but here's the funny part. So I'm in so much pain, and I'm limping around. When I get home, I have to let the dogs out, right? So I open the door
twice. You let your dogs out first, and they see your toe, and now you're letting the dogs out.
Let the other dogs out. One of those little shits got away. Started running down, and not only that. The dog is literally legitimately deaf. So I'm yelling at the dog.
What's its name?
Queso.
Queso.
It's like, queso. And it's just going on like no big deal. Oh, boy. So I'm limping a block down the road trying to chase this dog and finally catch up to it. And it tries to do a little football maneuver on me and get away. But I grabbed it, got inside, and started cussing at the dog. And then the other dog, who weighs about 60 pounds, stepped right on my toe with all of her weight on the same toe.
When it rains, it pours.
When it rains, it pours. But regardless, enough about that. But
we'll do a quick edit. Just fix that real quick.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
sorry about that. We had to address a technical difficulty. We didn't want to have a viewer, if they're watching this on the YouTube channel, go into a seizure. We had a light that was flickering for some reason.
Yeah.
Apologize.
So when it rains, it pours. My toe almost fell off, and now my lights are blinking at me.
you just can't win, can you?
Anyways. Yeah. So, that was my last week, and it's actually doing better. But my big toenail's about to fall off.
Yeah. It's not going to be fun.
It's all black.
It's not going to be a fun few months probably for you.
No, not at all.
All right, so let's move on to our next segment, huh? What do you say? Oh, we got intro music. It's the news. It's the news.
Racing news coming at you with your host, Corey. What's on the news? Well, that's a long intro.
Well, it's 15 seconds. I thought that would have been maybe I should find a 5-second one.
Well, next time we'll find a 5-second one.
All right. Nonetheless, this is a new segment. We're going to talk about Kai Kelly. This is actually a topic that was 6 months old, but it came back up in the aggregate, and I just thought it was interesting. So if anybody watches NPK or anything like that, their rule set to have parity. We've talked about that before in previous podcasts. Their parity is they have a rules package that they have to abide by. And we're not talking about trying to shave weight to make speed or nothing like that. But Kai Kelly got accused of his previous cars. The one he's currently in now is not being accused, but one of his previous cars. They said he had like a 112-inch wheelbase when it was only 101. So their particular rule set was you had to have, your car has to be from factory. It can't be stretched or shrunk more than 2 inches. So you have like a 4-inch window your wheelbase can be. And somebody was out there claiming he was a liar or a cheat.
That never happens in that
but
group.
The thing is like, particularly when you're at high level racing or even lower level like we are, if you're not trying to go in that gray area, you're probably not trying hard enough. Mm-hmm. Kai Kelly has had multiple cars, including the famed Shocker, which I still think he owns. But he built another one called Showstopper that had a 112-inch wheelbase. It was one of the newer Camaros, and he mentioned that he hated it, just the body style and the look of it, mainly because they had to stretch the quarter panels in order to fit the bigger tires on. So he didn't like that. He got rid of that, and actually he built a new one called Jingling, which is what he's running this year.
Is that a Buick Regal?
Buick Regal, and it's 100%. He said. I've seen the build. I think Wizard Race Cars built that car for him, and there's some videos he posted on YouTube, and I will link them below of him getting the car from Wizard. It's a beautiful car. Plus, he's running a nice big old screw blower.
So yeah. So who writes the rules for the NPK stuff?
Well, according to the internet, Ryan Martin does.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it's. I think they actually use some of the main guys in the NHRA to develop a package, and they adjust it. Generally, they adjust it at the beginning of the year, so everybody's kind of on the same page. But there was talks this year, and this year it hasn't been publicized yet, so I haven't been able to 100% follow along. But they were supposed to adjust it throughout the year if somebody started running away with it.
Yeah.
There's some new combinations out there. I think ProCharger is, according to the rumors around the rumor mill, ProCharger has really been dominant. Damon Merchant I believe he runs a ProCharger, and he's been really kicking some ass. So, but screw blowers to the front, baby.
Yeah.
Because this last race just happened. The last race of the NPK, Justin Swanstrom won, which was pretty cool. He's had a pretty difficult season this far with tuning and getting down, and I think he finally was able to put it together in Texas.
Did he ever find a driver for his other car? Remember that lease program he was going to do?
He just came out with a new video about that. He's actually built 2 identical cars now.
Okay.
So pretty much identical.
Yeah.
And he's going to be leasing one out. And he didn't give the specifics, but you have to set up an escrow.
Yeah. Put
a big amount of money in case you do some damage to the car or whatever. Yeah. And then you get that money back whenever you finish.
I mean, it's an interesting concept.
So his whole approach to it is, hey, you just show up and race. You fly in.
Yeah.
I've got a crew here. They'll tune it. All you got to do is drive. You can make a name for yourself, but you still have to race your way in.
Yeah.
Because they go by the driver, not the car. So you're still going to have to go into, I think they call that future NPKs or the Futures League, where you're racing really fast guys, and if you do well there, then they move you up to the Invitational.
Kind of like a junior dragster kind of thing.
But
got to work your way in.
Junior dragsters at 380s. Yeah. But I personally, the NPK scene, there's a lot of people that hate on it because why don't you try to see who has the fastest car or whatever you want to make your complaint on, but what it has done for our sport is amazing. The amount of eyes that are on drag racing right now is probably never been as many. So I definitely embrace it, and I think it's cool. Would we do it? No, not me. For one, it's a completely different setup, and for two, the risk involved is pretty high. I mean, shit happens fast, especially when you're going 380s in the eighth,
and
or
barely
even
any traction.
Yeah, and it would be very difficult, although it would be fun.
Yeah.
And you'd almost have to build a purpose-built car to get your weights and stuff right for it. So neither one of us are ever really going to attend any of those events racing. We may go to one though.
Yeah.
Just to watch.
The reason I even asked about the rules was because I remember when we were watching Street Outlaws, you just pretty much ran what you had, what you brung.
Yeah.
And then when they started the MPKs thing,
Now there's a rules package.
There was rules, and one of the big ones was your rear fender could not be any different than factory. So I cannot remember the guy's name. He drove the S10 truck or was a Ranger.
Larry Larson.
Larry Larson. He dominated a lot of races in Street Outlaws.
He's so good too.
Yeah, and then he had to
he
get away with
dominated.
that.
He also dominated Dragon Drives for a long time. That's where his kind of claim to fame. Him and who is the guy that runs the 55 Chevys? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Lutz, Jeff Lutz.
Jeff Lutz, yes.
He was a big Dragon Drive guy too.
Yeah.
I met both of them at a Dragon Drive. Lutz isn't very friendly.
Oh, really?
Larson was really cool though.
Yeah. So he struggled though when he got into MPK because he had to have a whole new car because they couldn't do it because he had his rear fenders were
he ended up skirting the rules because they were complaining because it was originally a short bed truck.
Yeah.
So he just converted it to a long bed truck and was able to get his wheelbase right.
Yeah.
So, again, you got to deal with your bullshit. I say that almost every podcast, and that's really what you do with that is you just got to figure out where the gray area is, and then,
I can tell you where there's not a gray area.
Where's that?
Now, I brought this up to you, and you'd already brought it up. So there was this incident that happened.
Yeah.
And, with the MPK guys and the Street Outlaw guys, there's a big name that's there.
Yeah.
And he's very controversial.
Yeah. And again, I'm not going to throw hate his way because he's brought a lot of stands, ass in seats, and he does a good job of that. I've never been to one of his races, but let's just say the name, JJ the Boss.
Yeah.
Got a truck similar to mine, except I'm going to say that mine's all steel, all original. So I still have the fastest 3100 Chevy truck.
There you go. Yes.
None of this chopped bullshit. You're just saving weight, brother. He did a stunt at Darlington Dragway. I guess it was last week before, where a guy rode on the back of his truck as a pass. He didn't make a full pass. It was basically just the burnout and a launch. But if anybody's ever seen JJ the Boss do a launch, it's wheels up. Mm-hmm. And
this guy was straddled in the bed.
So he had his feet on the back wing, the spoiler or spill plate or whatever they call him. That's where he's braced back there. And I think they gave him something to hold on to with his hands.
Yes.
He had to wear a helmet, and he had to sign off on some kind of waiver form to get it done. But they did it, and it's all over the internet. Right? Went viral. But
definitely look that up.
There is some downside to it. So Darlington was a WDRA race track sanctioned, and the sanctioning body pulled their sanction, I guess you'd call it, from the track.
Big blow.
It's massive. But I'll tell you, the rumor mill, again, because I was trying to go a little deep on this, the rumor mill was they were going to leave the WDRA anyway. Oh. So it didn't matter to them. But I don't think that, it's like I didn't break up, you broke up with me. It's a similar situation.
Yeah.
But I don't even care about who did what. I think they're going to have a hard time finding any sanctioning body that's going to be willing to, with under current management, be able to sanction that racetrack.
Yeah.
I just learned something. It was very interesting to me, and it might be interesting to you guys too. So when you're at an NHRA event track and you're actually running an NHRA event, the ET series or something, if you wreck on track, there is health insurance available. And the NHRA, if you're a member at a member's track, it's available to you. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
And it's cool. There's a gentleman that had an incident a couple years ago, and they took care of him, and I think that's awesome. I had no idea about that. So losing your sanction is kind of losing that for your drivers. Mm-hmm. It's a big deal. Did Darlington make a mistake? I personally think they did, but on the flip side, there's a lot of people talking about them. Maybe they can leverage that for whatever, But it was an incident, or I don't want to say incident. It was an interesting event, and there's the videos out there. I'll link it below.
Yeah, and so the thing is the track knew this was going on.
They had to have him sign a waiver. Yeah,
and they saw him on the bed of that truck through the burnout and everything. So there was plenty of time to stop him.
So I thought about this. What's the difference in doing that and then being on a motorcycle?
That's true.
I mean, that's the kind of pretty much the same thing. as far as safety is concerned, it's essentially the same thing. Now, he didn't have leathers on, so I think you might be able to ding him for that. I think he just had like his hillbilly pants and sweatshirt.
But I think the difference is on a motorcycle, you have some control.
That's fair.
He had zero control.
Yeah,
of what
he
was gonna
couldn't
happen.
let out.
Yes.
Okay, we'll see. And then that's the other side of that argument.
Yes.
I didn't consider that. I was just thinking, what as far as safety is concerned, if you were to fall off the truck, it would be the same as falling off a bike.
And they made him wear a helmet, so that's good.
Yeah. It's an interesting little read or story and video.
Definitely look that up, guys. If you,
it'll be in the show notes.
Yes,
as well.
Look at it. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's memes over it now too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on to the topic.
So what is our topic today?
We are just getting home from our NDRL banquet.
Nostalgia Drag Racing League. Look that up too if you don't know what that is.
Link's going to be below.
If you have an older car, 79 and older, and you want to join a great
Midwest
group of-
area, we race at a lot of tracks.
Definitely.
We will definitely put a big shout out for them. We just got back from that, and I'm under the weather because I stayed up too late. This is going to be a rough podcast for me.
Oh, and he was not just staying up late in his room watching TV.
No, I was. I was doing adult things, and I'm paying the price for it today.
Yeah, I could tell you the biggest thing about drag racing versus other groups. Now you have arguments, one driver did something wrong or something like that, but we watch our local roundy round tracks, and those guys are getting in fights and stuff like all the time
in the pits almost nightly. You almost go to see a fight and a race breaks out.
Yes.
That's essentially what that was the old school thought. They've kind of calmed that down a bit, but the controversy in roundy round and the competitiveness nature.
Well, as a spectator, you want to see a crash.
Yeah.
As a spectator, you want to see a fight.
Yeah.
But in drag racing in general, and I think it's pretty much all across the drag racing spectrum, no matter where you live, what classes you run in, which organization you run with, it's a family-oriented atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love more about anything is that we can sit there and shoot the shit with, 10 guys all day long.
Yeah. So one thing that they did this year for the first time was they did a roundtable discussion. And I thought it was a great idea. That everybody did, I think, where they got all the guys that race, even some of the family members that go to the races with them, because this affects them as well. They asked 12 different questions, and I won't list them off, but they asked, basically, what can we do better as a racing organization? And they let the drivers take the lead on it, and then they had a captain, which was at one of the tables, and they were just taking notes on each particular question. And I was very interested in hearing a lot of different opinions and some really great ideas for the future of NDRL, and I'm real excited to be a part of that.
Yeah, they were able to, they wanted to hear what we as racers liked and disliked. It wasn't a bunch of guys just making rules and saying this is what you're going to do. They are actually listening to us and our opinions on how we want to go forward as a league. So we're one big family.
Yep.
And I want to say congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Because my brother here, in the few years he's been racing, he has been promoted within the league to the director of the Pro Gas circuit, which is the biggest class we have in the NDRL.
Yeah, I made mention in the little speech. I actually got, I guess, shoehorned. I'm not sure what the good term was for it, but they needed somebody to present the awards for Pro Gas, and it was me.
Yeah.
So I got it, thrown up there, and in that, I made mention that the Pro Gas class of NDRL is the backbone or the workhorse. I think is what I called it.
For sure.
We always have high turnouts, and when other classes can't make their turnout, the money comes from the Pro Gas turnout. We always have to run more rounds. So to be on the podium and win anything in Pro Gas is difficult.
Yes.
Because you're fighting potentially 70 guys in our
and
class.
there are a lot of good guys.
We're hoping this podcast maybe brings some more cars out too. We would love if we can promote it enough where we can get some more cars, and we could split them off too. So it won't be as, if we can somehow manage to get 100 cars in that class, we would do an AB or something, I'm sure. Nobody's going to want to run 7 rounds.
Yeah.
So once you get past, I think it's 64 cars, you got to run 7 rounds. I think it's maybe 6. I can't remember now. I'm not, my math's not mathing this morning. So we did the roundtable event, and then we went to the banquet, and where they presented all the awards to everybody that won from. So they have 5 classes. We have production modified, pro comp, pro gas, pro 750, and pro 7.0.
Yeah.
And most of our teammates are in either pro gas or pro comp. And we had a really good showing this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
we might as well just go ahead and just bring that on out. So one of
should I hit the news button?
oh yeah, not the fake news.
Not the fake.
No.
Hey, well, wait till I make a mistake. You guys are gonna love it.
So our teammates, it's me and my little brother Corey here, but we gained
Officially
3 teammates for next year.
Yeah. One is unaware that he's a teammate.
We're forcing him to be a teammate.
But I hear he listens to this podcast. So Sam, congratulations, you're part of the Blood Brothers Racing team now.
Yes, you are. We have dubbed the Godfather.
The Godfather.
Yes.
And he won Pro Gas division. So our class, that is plus he won
Racer
of the year. And he really deserved it because he came back from a pretty big deficit to win this thing. And he's just an incredible racer.
Yes.
We actually will have a driver's interview with him on the Blood Brothers Racing channel. So I suggest if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe for that because we had a great conversation about some of his keys to success and kind of a little bit about his racing past. And we'll have other drivers as well.
Yeah. So our other 2 teammates.
Yep.
Just happen to be brothers also, just like we are.
Yeah.
And that is Nick Hamilton and Bill Hamilton. And Bill runs in the Pro Gas, and he finished 2nd in points.
First year out, too.
First year out.
Now, he's been racing a long time, but
it's been a while since
I think he said 10 years since he's been in a car. To come out first time
yes.
and get 2nd in Pro Gas, arguably the hardest class to win.
Yeah.
We're not saying the fastest. We're just saying competition-wise, it's probably one of the hardest classes to win and come out and be 2.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And then our other guy,
Nick, his brother, came in 2nd place in points in the Pro Comp.
Yep.
So if you haven't noticed the theme, so it was me and Corey, and then we brought 3 teammates in.
Yep.
2 of them were in 2nd place points, and one was a champ in Pro Gas.
So if we can't be successful, we're just going to make people that are successful part of the team.
Yes. Surround yourself with excellence.
So the idea with the team is, there is another family in our racing league that's kind of like, they're the guys, right?
Yeah.
We want to be the guys too.
Yeah.
So we want to do like a little Hatfield McCoy thing.
Yeah.
So in the future, at least our race program, we've already talked about, we're going to have to at some point get some cars in the 750 and 7.0 class. Yeah. We already kind of working with one guy. I'm not going to name names, but Nick. We're trying to get him to go 7.0, so that may be in the future. Then we just need to find that 750.
And we have another teammate that's on board with us.
Yeah.
That's he is a brother from another.
Yes.
I guess. And so our other
we all
teammate,
love him like a brother.
Yes. And we're happy to say that Vern is on our team and he's running 8.0 Pro Comp right now, right? Yep. So we're excited about you, Vern, coming on board. We're just so excited for our race team. Yep. Next year is going to be awesome.
The thing is we were already a team beforehand. We were already doing what we plan on doing in the future. The idea is now we're just everybody's going to know us as these are the guys that we're bringing 6-7 cars to an event.
Yes.
So it's going to be fun. And again, we're going to try to get some cars and the divisions a little faster to try to do the Hatfield McCoys with the Friels family.
Yeah,
so
and all friendly competition.
Yeah,
we love the Friels,
dude.
Man.
Pat got the Sportsman of the Year.
Yeah, he's the one that got the Sportsman. Yes,
and I tell you, Pat, he's just an amazing guy. Like, no matter what you need, even if it's a story was told by Buddy Hall. I think it was Buddy Hall talking about he needed a blower drive.
Yes.
And Pat Friels actually went into his trailer and took a blower drive off a spare blower to give to him.
Yes.
So he could race. That's the type of level of man this guy is. He's just an amazing person. The whole family is.
Oh, yeah.
Same way, But Pat, he obviously, the ringleader of the circus, I think is what they call him. He obviously has instilled some really good morals and character in the people that are around him.
I know he's helped you a lot, but he's helped me by proxy. So
Yeah, he certainly has.
Yes.
He
So
certainly
I've
has.
learned a lot from Pat. Just
So it's
through
almost
him.
like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You're 3 degrees Pat Friels.
That's awesome.
All right, so we did the banquet. We had some winners. That was a lot of fun. And then I decided, because I don't know if you partake too much, but I went doing some drinking.
Yeah.
I did some drinking and had a great time at the Hollywood Casino.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was at a casino, so there was a lot of people gambling, but there was some live music and dancing.
Oh,
and
so
all
much
that.
fun.
Yeah.
So we actually, I think we shut the band down, right? The band was closing up when we left.
Yes, downstairs.
And then I found another party because Corey wasn't ready to put down. He wasn't ready to lay down yet. So I found some of the Friels family members, and we went and did a little another party. And there's a little. I'm going to call it a disco. Maybe showing my age there, but it was a really interesting. If anybody's around Hollywood Casino, it is a lot of fun. It was a really cool time.
Yeah, it was good. And that's in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to some viewer mail.
Sure.
Wrap this thing up here. So Kyle has asked us in one of our comments on one of our videos, will you all explain your favorite classes and why?
I'm going to take this as because obviously we're drag racers. We don't always want to focus on that. So we're going to try to get some people in to school us on other types of racing. So this isn't always what we're going to talk about. But my favorite stuff to watch, obviously, is the highest level, the funny car and Top Fuel. But those are nice. But my absolute favorite is Production Modified, or Pro Mod, should say. Those cars are so awesome. We actually got the chance to race with that league twice this year, so we got to be able to front row seat to some of these guys, Keith Haney and that group. It's amazing to see what those cars can do.
Yes.
It's unreal when they launch and you're on the line and they go away from you. It is unreal how fast that happens.
Yes.
You know, dragsters, you have a different perception of it because they're so long. When they launch, it almost looks like they're going slow, but when these pro mod cars
full body car,
it is gone.
Oh, yes.
So that's my favorite.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I'm all about all that stuff. And I'm going to be a little biased just because I like the simple man. You know, the guy that can afford it.
Yeah.
Or maybe not can't afford it, but
Talking
figures a way to do it.
Talking ET series?
Yes. So all the ET stuff. I mean, just get out there, bracket racing or index racing, whatever it is, but the common guy, man, me and you. So
no, it's cool. The hard thing though is it's kind of hard to find your favorite driver because there's so many,
Oh yes.
So if you're not in the league, you kind of want to have a dog in the horse or a horse in the fight. I don't know how. What do you say? I don't know. One of those things. Fake news thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's hard to do. So it's hard to follow. But there are some big names out there that are just killing it.
I think you want to hit the fake news button. You might as well go.
No, I'm gonna wait till you guys got to wait until I lie to you. You gotta wait. All right. So we got one more.
Yeah. So James wrote us and said, and it's a good question here. What would be a great car to start drag racing in as a beginner?
I would say one that's already done and ready to go. Don't be messing around in the barn for years and years and years to get going. But if you could find something, it depends on what style racing you want to do. If you want to do bracket racing, any car.
Yeah.
If you want to run index racing, there's some advantages to certain body styles and horsepowers, that you get there. But bracket racing, I'm just going to say anything that you can go down. You don't even have to go fast in bracket.
No, you don't.
So as far as a beginner, I would start slow. I mean, I would try to find you something that was in the 8-second range in the 8th. Most bracket race stuff is, local is going to be 8th mile.
As far as cars are concerned, what seems to be really popular now is
Mustangs.
the Fox bodies.
Fox body.
And even S10s.
They're factory race cars.
Yeah,
man.
they are. And a lot of people are doing the S10s because they're cheap.
They are.
Cheap.
It was always tough to make them work, trucks in general. But it seems to be there's a big push right now for trucks because there's trucks all over the place. I think it's cool.
So I'm gonna wrap this up here for you.
Sure.
Do you got anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna give you a would you rather right before we go here.
Okay. Yeah, and I didn't get one, so it's just gonna be you.
It's gonna be me because we're running out of time.
Yep.
Would you rather have to announce to everybody around you whenever you have to fart, or would you rather pee your pants daily in secret?
I think I'm going to take the announcement. I'll ask them to guess my fart. So have you ever seen that on TikTok? Guess my fart. Somebody makes the noise, and then the guy farts, and if it's the same, they get excited about it. That's what I would do. I think. I just think the cleanup, peeing your pants every day would suck.
Yeah, probably so, unless you start wearing diapers.
Yeah, I mean, and you didn't say you couldn't. So
sometimes it's best to not announce a fart, though, especially in an elevator of like 12 people.
Yeah, I wonder who would have done that. So hey, guys, we have some exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah.
On the podcast. I told you about the drivers meetings or the drivers interviews. I got 2 of them for the Blood Brothers Racing channel, and then we're going to do 2 of them exclusively on the podcast. Big names in our world. And probably a big name in this area in the country. It's going to be great. Plus, we have a really exciting opportunity in the future to get a celebrity. Essentially, will be on the podcast with us.
Yes,
and
so
that's
stay
going to
tuned
be.
for that.
We're not really sure. We're going to get the logistics on it, but we're really excited.
It's
about
in
the
the
opportunity.
works.
It is in the works. So make sure you are subscribed and make sure you comment. Write us an email if you want. I finally got to use that one.
Yeah.
So I just dropped our ornament. If you guys want one of these little ornaments, make sure you email us your address, linelockedpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or reach out on Facebook. Obviously, we need your address to be able to send it to you, so you got to be comfortable with that. We're good people. We ain't going to put you on a mailing list or nothing like that. So make sure you do that. We love that you're tuning in, and we at the banquet we got a lot of good feedback, so we know people are listening, and I think we got something here. If you feel like we do, make sure you let us know that. Give us some motivation to keep going.
Yeah.
You got anything?
Nope.
All right, so we just need to hit some buttons now, huh?
That one right there.
That one right there.
Yeah, that's the outro.
Yeah. Hey,
so
it's been rough. It's been a rough
We
day.
survived at 32 minutes and some. We've survived.
Yeah, we had that technical difficulty.
Oh yeah, so you might have missed it.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're line locked, and I'm Chris,
And I'm Corey.
and we are
Line locked.
Oh,
See, we were late. We were late.
Take care, guys.